I hope. I hope you had a beautiful day so far. And just thank you for joining me here for our tea time. Cheers. And where there's tea, there's also TypeScript. Is that true? I don't know. Anyway, so the last few weeks, I guess, we were looking at a couple of things. One being NestJS. Well, we've been doing that for quite some time, but we're doing it again in a new project. So we're building a kind of tea shop currently, my little tea shop. Hey. With the help of NestJS, with the help of GraphQL, integrated into NestJS, with the help of Cognito for authentication, and at some point maybe also for authorization, but I need to look at that again, let's be honest. Because the groups are somewhat more involved apparently. And other than that, number 5, we also have a React app which integrates with Cognito and the backend, the NestJS backend, and pretty much currently does nothing, I think. But we will, I think maybe in this episode, we will give it at least some life. So for the time being, I figured we might as well look at the to-dos that we have. Refreshing this to-do list. So let's look at to-do, and I kind of think, well, this is a simple one. We can just remove code, which is good. So we can do some of these, and the rest we avoid for the time being. Pretty sneaky of us, I guess. But I guess that's what we do here today. So the controller we don't need at all, if I'm not mistaken. Let's double check. So login we don't need, and that's the only route that this dude defines, so we don't need it. So why do we not need it? Because the login route is on the other side as well, on the GraphQL side. So we don't need a REST endpoint, or like a regular HTTP GET endpoint for the login. In particular, that was basically just our playground for figuring out how to work with the JWT that's given to us from AWS Cognito. So this one's gone. App controller in here can also be gone. Then we have the app module, which probably somewhere has the app controller up there. We can remove that. We also have the app service, which is also useless. Yeah, this is absolutely useless. So let's remove that as well. And with this, our app is slightly more lightweight. And we already have our first commit essentially. And can you believe it? It is the 50th episode. It's actually not really the 50th episode probably, but in our new counting version, it's episode 50. We might be a bit over, maybe 2 or 3 episodes over the 50, but it's a jubilee. Yay! So thank you for spending all the time with me here. All the people that have joined. We went from 0 viewers essentially to more of 0 viewers, then to a few viewers, got some rates here and there. Then actually got added into the affiliate program for Twitch, which is amazing. So thank you so much for that help. Particularly to the regulars like Kusto, Mace, and a few other people like Find a Singularity, also Play Dungeon Man has rated us a couple of times. So thank you to all the supporters at that point. And also to the subscribers, because we did have a few subscribers. I still can't believe it. Particularly Mikaos, My Chaos. Not 100% sure how to pronounce his name. But still. Yeah, and 50 episodes it is. Drinking tea, enjoying some TypeScript nerd stuff. All right, let's push this bad boy. I think we can at least run yarn dev here once to see that the TypeScript compilation still works. And then I'm fairly happy. Yeah, looks good. So episode 50, cleanup. Oh no, wait. We have the new version, which is refactor, somewhat following the Angular convention. Clean up that code. There we go. So that's one down. Yay! Let's look at more to-dos. This one is more complicated. And I think we're just gonna skip it. I think this dude here, Cognito JWT. So what happens is that if we do regular HTTP requests, which we currently don't even have a route for that, JWT strategy, I think because this one triggers from auth headers as bearer token. I think this one then fails and thereby everything explodes, saying that the property cannot be property headers of undefined, because the context is slightly different. We might be able to wait. I've got an idea. I think we might be able to do something. It's kind of a bummer that we just threw everything away, all of our endpoints. But I think what we can do. Wait, let me go back one step here. Git checkout minus git checkout. I think head tilde 1. Is that right? Detached head. Post checkout. Interesting. Do we have something like that? Do we still have the controller now? We do. Perfect. I think we're now on the right commit. Yeah, equal to main, which is good, because I think what we can do here is say something like context.getType, and then we say if getType is equal to I suppose HTTP, then we do something, maybe like this. Not 100% sure. Otherwise, hopefully that works. Let's see. I do want to step inside of here, I guess. Let's see. I think we have our test HTTP. Yeah, there we go. So currently, this is a bad request. What I want to do first of all. Oh, we don't have a login route. Do we have any route that's like pretty much trivial? That would be greatly appreciated. Let's see, T module, T service, TOs. Yes, we can create some T, or we can create an order and try to understand what the error is actually saying. Can I create one order on mutation? Did you mean create order? Yeah, I suppose I did. think this is pretty much outdated, huh? Let's go into this thread then. And we might be able to just pick all of this, say create, then we put this right there, but we have to remove all the line breaks and replace most of them with \n. No, that didn't work. So \n, except for the last one. I hope that works. Darn. We also have to take all of these dudes. Need to do that. And maybe now we are able to do it. So send the request. That works. And it is, in particular, it's authenticated. If we change our token here, ever so slightly, we get unauthenticated. Perfect. So now, this is one part. Now we want to have something like \, I guess it's login, or the module, twks, controller /login. Okay. Oh, wait. This tool won't exist, I suppose. Oh, will it? Maybe it does. /login. So if we do this, we cannot post. Okay. We need a get request here. It says token expired 401. That should be a 4. No, 401 is correct. But I suppose it just worked, huh? Did our code just work like this dude here? That would be surprising. That is just working like first try. Internal server. Man, it worked just first try. That's... Look at that. How often do you have that? In particular, let's double check just with the console log here. That when we call the other dude up here, we actually get type GraphQL. Perfect. So we might as well say what's the GraphQL execution context here? If context.get type is equal to GraphQL, it might be that TypeScript now actually hidden as us. Otherwise, throw new. I guess return a server error. Unknown context type. Yeah, that sounds reasonable. So TypeScript now says that this is always false. I think we can fix it by saying something like this. Yeah, that seems to have worked. Yep. Sweet. Cool. Well, that was surprisingly easy. That was surprisingly easy. With that, with that, can we still get logged out? Now I'm confused, I have questions. So this auth guard, it should now also trigger the auth guard, not you, authenticator get JWT strategy. Yeah, there we go. Do we still trigger this for the other dude? So we should now trigger the auth guard both for GraphQL and for regular HTTP requests. So I first of all do this one. Everything works perfect. Sweeto. And now if I call this one, we get token expired immediately. We didn't get the auth guard. Did I miss something? I would have expected this to be globally applied immediately. But I do step in here, do I? Let's see. Let's do this again. Yeah, now we are here. So this is, can see the response type of you, return value, incoming message. Did it work? Request is incoming message. Did it work? I'm not sure. It does have headers, so that looks good. Create passport context. Create passport function. Turn true. Filled. True. There is one guard that's apparently applied. It does call get activate. Can activate. Sorry. So what I want is that we actually land inside of here. Why is there no expired project? HTTP. Oh, we get triggered. Sweet. So everything is all right. And that concludes it. And then the token expired we get actually from the login, I think. So add module controller. We just do this. I do think we get to this point. And that means everything is good. Everything seems to be just all right. There we go. Yeah, sweet. Sweet. There's our token. And we get our response. Cool. That means we have successfully fixed the thing, which means we can rename this dude into actually just my auth guard or T auth guard. I don't know. T time auth guard maybe. There we go. No, we don't want to save you. Thank you. Remove that one. That one. So now comes the interesting part. I do want to I don't know, I just call it my Oscard now. My Oscard. So tea time. Oscard. There we go. Let's not call it my, let's call it custom. Custom Oscard. Bams, custom, custom, custom. There we go. The NestJS here. The fun stuff here, the context switching. I'm not 100% sure where I saw this. But I suppose it was somewhere here, I guess, maybe? Can activate, get request. That's the wrong one. Get request, get context, user, blah blah blah. Somewhere here. Similar to this, but slightly different. Yeah, just ever so slightly. Okay, context type. Apparently, this is possible. Okay, sweet. So extract constant, context type. Otherwise, we say unhandled context type. Let's just say unknown, that's fine. Saludos, Kimato Suyaka. Ah, Nihonjin desu ka? It sounds very Japanese. Saludos. Saludos doesn't sound too Japanese though. Do you happen to be an aficionado for the Japanese culture? Either popular culture, which I am, or the more traditional culture, which I am too. Actually, I have a 1,000-year-old poem right behind the screen. Japanese poem. In Japanese. How are you doing? How are you doing, Kimato-san? Es español. I see. I cannot speak Espanol, but I did have a couple of co-workers that are Spanish. So there's a chance, at least from my European background, that I understand a couple of words and I recognize them. Let's say it like that. Yeah, how are you doing? How are you doing? And one interesting question that I always have. You speak a little English. Okay, perfect. that helps. One interesting question that I always have is, so how did you find the channel? So very glad you're here. Have some tea. That's what we're all here for. This is green tea currently. And other than that, what are you learning? Because we are, well, I am very much interested in what kind of things people are learning. Because learning is one of the things that I find to be the most useful and the most meaningful, and also fun. just like that. So currently we just fixed something in our authentication. So that's cool. Now we just have to move it over. And that's the more complicated part, I think. What we hopefully can do is we can just stash everything. Stash, -m maybe. Fix auth guard. There we go. And then we can go back to main. Then we can git stash pop. And then everything is hopefully applied. Yeah, it seems to have worked. This is the rename. Oops, don't revert that. That would be bad. We can also resolve. So this to do is what we had. An error property of property headers of undefined cannot be found. This is the same one. And now it works for both regular HTTP requests and GraphQL requests. Yay! Awesome. So that's pretty cool. I'm still kind of trying to remember where I read about it. That it's possible to do this switch on these contexts. So this get context, GraphQL context type, and so on. So that I can just link to the documentation for further references. But I don't know where it is. So this is what we wrote just now. The auth guard, pretty much. Hi, my friend. It was good to see you. Hope you have a great day. I still love your Japanese sounding name. Have a good evening. Parent type. That is also interesting. Can actually see whether it's a mutation or a query. Anything in federation? Probably not. Subgraph. Get type? No, nothing. Maybe in plugins. Nothing. Darn. I'm so sure I saw it somewhere here. Or was it in recipes? Prisma? Commander? CRUD? Something? CQRS? Compodoc? Substatic? OpenAPI? Standalone apps? It's not there. Well, anyway. Let's just save this bad boy. We have a fix actually for episode 50, which is auth guard works for HTTP requests, HTTP REST requests. Sweet. Let's just double check once more. Check connection rejected. Okay. Compiler, be compiling quick. So that one still works. And this one, it cannot find the route. Okay, that's also okay, I guess. Because we removed the route, it cannot find it anymore. I don't think we have any regular route now. Well, whatever works. Regular HTTP route. Because good to see you. I was talking about you earlier, ever so slightly, because this is our 50th episode, and I show 4, even though it's 50th. Woo! Good to see you. How are you doing? Everything fine on your end? Yeah, it's kind of our 50s. At some point, our counting was somewhat weirdish, because I like have episode 7.5 or something, because they were kind of extra episodes. So we are probably actually at episode 52 or 53 or 54, but whatever. In our new counting, where I just count up the numbers, is episode 50. Things are good, new job. Oh, sweet. Nice. Wait, you had a new job as well. I remember you coding something, coding doc or something, and me were talking ever so slightly, and coding doc had a new job, and you were congratulating him. But you have a job as well, a new one. Sweet, congratulations! You have some tea. Nice, nice, nice. It's actually completely full still. So this is for you. Chips. I remember too, forgot his name, but he got a senior. Yeah, exactly. Coden something. He's over at Finite, a pro Finite Singularity stream. Cheers. Nice. So, do you already have your first or your software development stuff? I remember you were kind of getting started with JavaScript and HTML and CSS. And all of a sudden a new job. That's surprising and exciting. Yeah. Exciting. Which song was that? I don't remember. Anyway, we just fixed our custom auth card. We are currently going through the to-do list. We did already fix 2 to-dos in the meantime. No, you've been snacking so hard. I kind of get what you mean. It's particular if you have a new job, which I got myself as well, just ever so recently. It's hard to bring up the energy to go after work and say, all right, now I learn even more, because a new job always brings new challenges with you, right? And new decisions and all the new people you need to get used to. And me as an introvert in particular, the decision depletion can be fairly quick. Maybe you've heard of that one. It's a psychological thingy, decision depletion. Like decision fatigue. Early in the day, you make the best decisions. Pretty much saying, whenever you try to decide on a new car, for example, don't do it in the evening, because you are so fatigued with decisions that you make bad decisions. Yeah, and I think Mark Zuckerberg, he actually they have been known to reduce their everyday clothing down to 2 or 1 outfit in order to limit decisions. which I find super interesting. Actually, I also just happen to have three different outfits. But that's more of me being being stingy and being too lazy to buy actual outfits. Anyway, very cool that you have a new job. Congratulations. You too. Sweet. What a coincidence. So let's look at the to-do list here. Do we need the passport module? I don't know. We can try to remove it. Let's see whether it still works. But it did say, wait, the documentation of TypeScript actually says you need this, if I'm not mistaken. Database. Somewhere inside of here we need to have authorization or authentication. Or security, maybe. Security? No? Security. There we go. Authentication. Passport. Passport module. There we go. So they do need the passport module. But I'm not 100% sure what it actually does. Maybe we can try out. So I did remove it now. And if I go to my test file here, am I still able to send requests? Well, yes. The question is, if I change this token and make it invalid, am I still able to make requests? Now it says no. So that means maybe I don't need it. Then again, the NestJS passport module provides us with a built-in guard that does this for us. The guard invokes the passport strategy and kicks off the steps described above. Okay. Described above. Retrieving credentials, running the verify function, creating the user property. Ah, maybe. Just maybe. Because we have this app guard. Ah, because we still need this one, definitely. And we also need it to be added. So one interesting question is, so this library, NestJS passport, it takes over that we have, if we go to our request, that we actually have the request. What am I about to say? When you get a request from a user, and then we basically, this is Express style, we basically pass this to the actual handlers, to the functions that like talk to your database and stuff. And they look at the request and, for example, look at specific parameters to find out what is going on. So one interesting thing on that request is that passport, this library up here, sets a property called user. And we want to use this user property to do authorization. Like, are you allowed to access this? Is Mikhail's allowed to access this property? No, because it's an order, or it's a like an Amazon order from me. So where I want to go is down here and see whether this is still properly defined properly, and also on this dude here. But it does seem to be there. Looking at this, because what we can do is we can just take all the orders. Cannot query field total price. Okay, then let's not do it. There we go. So this dude sees all things. So now that means this thing seems to be working, huh? So this request.user That's the one that's important. That possibly comes from the library. So if I just say console.log me this, what am I doing? Do this for me. Restart. Do this, then it is still there. Okay, so I think we are good with removing the property. Save. I think we are good with removing this module. It's a bit risky. The problem about security is if you don't understand it 100%, you might end up removing or adding something that actually lessens your security, which means maybe you have a data leak due to that or something. That's a bit annoying. Passport utilities module. But what are you actually doing? Jesus. It takes dist. Great. Then let's look at dist. Dist is not there. Sweet. Great. Index. Passport, serializer strategy, module interfaces, auth guard. So the auth guard is definitely what we're still using. Abstract strategy. This is abstract, so it's probably not that relevant. We might actually be using it right here. Yes, we do. We actually use that one. Interfaces, don't care, because it's on TypeScript level. It doesn't affect our runtime or JavaScript runtime. Passport module. Maybe we step inside of there for a second. What's the serializer doing? Serialize user, deserialize user. Not sure what this does. Passport strategy. Use. Where's the module? There it is. Okay. So register stuff. Create some providers and exports things. Use existing, use class. Session false. I think we're good. It still seems to work. I think we're good. So this becomes a refactor, hopefully. Episode 50. And remove seemingly useless import of passport module. Yeah. All right. One more to do done. This to do we need to have, because I'm currently always testing with a token. So this, the JWT. Some people actually call it JOT. I learned the other day. which is, at least you can pronounce it. But then again, it's kind of weird, because JWT, so JSON Web Token. Maybe it's my non-native English that says no, you don't use JOT for a W, right? So this is the token, but it's expired. So this is an actual token that we received from Cognito, but it is expired, and I don't want to get a new token every 5 minutes or 15 minutes maybe, because that's the expiry time. That's why I just skip the expiration time in here. So this to-do is still relevant. What else do we have? Change this to... My English is perfect. Thank you, but it still has points where I'm like, particularly I don't see too many differences between English, like British English and American English. I wouldn't be able to tell which is which, for example. And then there are like more older words. Oh, I tried playing Crusader Kings the other time. Crusader Kings 2, because it's free. And Jesus Christ. Man, the English is hard inside of there, because it's very, very political. It's also outdated, partially. Like you have the names for the different kinds of nobles. I don't even know them in German, much less in English. Anyway, so it sounds annoying. Yeah. Crusader Kings is a very hard game. It's too hard for me. All the Paradox games. You probably know Paradox is the Paradox Interactive. They are doing the super incredibly detailed games where you can pretty much do single thing, and you can play every little country in that specific time frame that they have a game for. But its learning curve is also terrible. It's incredible. Anyway, so next one. Change this to access. This is also valid because AWS, Amazon Web Services, or more specifically AWS Cognito, our authentication provider, identity provider, they have two tokens actually. One being the ID token, where you have information like what's the birthday of that person, if it's provided, of course. What's the birthday, the address, and so on and so on. Corresponding to the Open ID Connect. Pretty much, this is a standard sitting on top of OAuth, which you might have heard of, OAuth 2. And OpenID Connect, whenever you use login with Google or you login with Facebook, this is what's happening in the background. OAuth 2 together with sitting on top of that OpenID. And you can also have that with the help of AWS Cognito. And that's one token, that's the ID token. And then they have another one where they provide you all the information of which groups you belong to and whatnot. And that's the so-called access token. Currently I have the ID token for whatever reason. I don't even remember why. So this one is still valid. Then next one. This ID should be moved into a config service and environment variable. That's probably true. Let's not do it now. Sometime, maybe. Yeah, I think our idea was actually to make this into a library, right? And then it is absolutely necessary to put this into somewhere. But currently, I think we're good. So maybe I leave the to-do, because we don't put it into a library for the time being. What else do we have? Move uniqueness check to input DTO. Interesting, interesting, interesting. That would be something that we could actually do. Because do you want to see front-end stuff, or shall I fiddle around with the actual more with the backend? Whichever you prefer. I think we can remove actually this dude for the time being, and then we have one this, because I think T is always visible to everybody. What is not visible to everybody is the orders, and the orders actually get filtered currently. Orders servers, orders resolver, orders DPO. Yeah. The orders get filtered by your own user ID. So you only see your orders like you are used to on Amazon. You cannot just see the Amazon orders of, I don't know, Bill Gates, who's probably also shopping on Amazon. I actually mean it. Because everybody is shopping on Amazon. This one is actually a refactor, clean up that code. Yeah, clean up. Useless. Yeah, dead code, whatever. There we go. And then we have 4 left. This one being actually important. Let's write important here. And important there. And let's write to do for Cognito NestJS passport JWG library. Man, that's a very, very long name. That's a very long name. And then we have those 2 as well. Anything else? Important, and this one is yeah. We can either do this, which is then validation, or we look at some front-end code, which I'm terrible in. But it would probably be interesting to look at Apollo. Apollo client. React TypeScript also. There you go. Apollo client. So Apollo client makes it simpler. Yeah, let's do some front-end stuff, I guess. Let's do some front-end stuff. So refactor, more detailed to-dos. There we go. Let's move to the front end. This is now interesting. There we are. Hey, we're in the front end. That was simple. Let's take a look how it actually looks like. We will first see the fun stuff, the good stuff, which I didn't write. I actually just included one specific component. It's loading very, very low. There we go. Okay, no, we immediately see the bad stuff. So this is our terrible, terrible app, but it already has sign in and sign out. Let's hope that I have the right email address. Damn it. Maybe a 1. Damn it. Okay. Let me just log into AWS for a second. Log into my console. And then we put in TypeScript tea time. There we go. And now we have, so in the front end, we can actually use Amplify. And we can, for example, say console auth, or we need to use yarn amplify console auth. Yeah, that works. And then it immediately opens the right thing in the front end. Or so I thought. Request argument must be a string. There it is. Oh. Why does it not work anymore? Why amplify console? Request argument must be a string. Receive type undefined. Is our version already outdated? Amplify. Amplify CLI. Oh, it is. Jesus Christ, what happened? And why do all people all of a sudden use Amplify CLI? What happened? Is this correct? Ah, there must be, these are all the preview versions. Isn't there one actual relevant one? Interesting. Well, let's take this one then and hope everything is still compatible. Oh man. Oh man. Oh boy. Hey, when that happens so. And not sure. You mean the outdated dependencies? It is pretty much annoying, in particular because it's, I mean, it used to work like 2 weeks ago. And all of a sudden it's like, oh no, everything is gone. Everything is just utterly broken all of a sudden. That's weird. Yarn also being very, very quick today. Probably because I deleted my yarn cache. Come on, yarn. GraphQL auth transformer. Oh boy. I hope they didn't completely destroy everything. That would be pretty annoying. But I kind of have a feeling that it might be true. Come on. Come on. There we go. Man. Yarn is out of date. Great. I don't really care. So now we have this one, and everything in here is also changed. Let's see whether we can still call the console now. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. You can do it! No, everything is broken. Woo! Request must be a string. Receive type undefined. There was an error trying to open the web console. Amplify. Oh, done play Dungeon Mans. Jim, how are you doing? Good to see you. Getting ready. Shout out to. Do I have to write you with capitals? Yeah. Oh, it actually didn't find it anyway. Cool. Nice. Yeah. Shout out to Jim. He's the developer of Dungeon Mans, first of all, but also a great game developer. We just finished up morning stream, the routine. Yeah, I'm doing okay. Hope you're doing well as well. Did you have a slam jam? That's one of my favorites actually. It's like a 5-minute song from Space Jam, right? Well, no. Actually, I don't think it's the old one from my time, like 1990 something. No slam jam today. Or can I still do a exclamation mark slam jam? We didn't open the adventure calendar. Another one? It's the 6th, 7th one, right? But it was empty. I think you got trolled. I'm sorry to say it, but I think you've got trolled with the advent calendar. Space Jam. Yeah. It's with a... Oh, that's Fist of the North Star. I never knew. I'm a big anime fan, but I never really watched Fist of the North Star. It's not the thing that I'm into. Interesting. Ah, cool. Thanks for the link. Yeah. I won't play it on stream because I am too afraid. Slam of the North Star. Okay. Yeah. And there's a cool dude who's doing the DJ thing on stream then. So yeah, we're currently looking into. We did fix some to-dos on our backend. Actually, that's actually done. The to-do fun stuff. And now I was about to look into Apollo, so doing some GraphQL stuff on the front end, web development. So we're building a tea shop essentially. At the backend, we already have kind of orders and we already have tea. The API is there, and we also have ourselves a complete sign up and so on, because everything is hosted by Amplify. And basically all our front end code is only login, and that's the whole code here. Done. And actually it's pretty much just this line and maybe how much authentication is there. I think something one further up. Yeah, this is pretty much all the code that we have for authentication. And with this, we have all this fun stuff. We have a reset password. We have a create account. And you get the emails sent and whatnot. And everything is pretty cool. The problem that we have is that I wanted to check out inside of here, inside of AWS Cognito. New design available. Great. Do I want to click this? I'm kind of afraid. Oh, we don't have any users whatsoever. Interesting. Well, then let's just create a user. TypeScript teatime at Gmail. If you want to send me an email, this is the email that you can go to. And let's give it a... The account already exists. Am I in the right? No, I am not. Aha. Where did I host? In Ireland? Maybe? Hopefully? No user poll. Maybe in Frankfurt. Yeah, there we have something. No user poll. Episode 45. This is it. So somewhere in here we have TypeScript tea time. There we go. So what we can instead do is reset my password, send myself a code. And I'm just going over to here, going into my email, and then I have the verification code with this beautiful, beautiful email. So it looks like this, but it is, first of all, it's functional. So if I go to GIMP for just a second and paste this is what it looks like currently. There's the code. 432.0.41. And all of that without us pretty much writing any code. 432.0.41. Let's give it a new password. So. And this is one thing that I'm still working on, and I didn't find I haven't looked into it. Let's say it correctly. What I wanted is to automatically assign a group to the person so that we can immediately have authorization depending on in which group you are. But that didn't work the way I hoped it would initially, and now we have just a very tiny error that is annoying, but it doesn't stop us, I think, from actually logging in. There we go. Yeah. So reset worked. Okay. So if you're still there, we might as well play just an ever so tiny round of T-Wars. Question is, where do I have it running? Because I forgot about it. Is it like, where is it actually running? No.
Cyro09 joined our tea time.
Hello there. Good job to you. Cheers. Have a cup of tea. So the T-Wars. Let's see. Localhost 63,000 something. Is it still running? Website can't be reached. Great. That's not ideal. If I do something like this. Ooh, that works. Okay. I think we've got this in a couple of minutes. Maybe it doesn't start up. Maybe it does. So, BAPS, there we go. Haven't done this in a while, so oops. So, if you are there, you can. So in a couple of minutes, a monster will fall from there, and we have a couple of rules which explain what you can do. Because there we go, a monster. I need to stop this music. And now you can join me in fighting this monster, the Rock, which is you write it with R-O-K. It's a beast like even dragons are smaller. So !join or !attack in the chat, and then you can play with me live here on stream up there. Right now. So in the meantime, I can try to heal myself, for example. There we go. And then we can play together. Gonna be together. Fighting this rock. Oh, the rock. I think that's the V-Rock was one of the radio stations in Vice City, right? GTA Vice City. V-Rock. So otherwise we have, I think we also have Ice Magic, like so. And we have Fire Magic. Oh, I'm about to die. Am I? No, it's still fine. Fire! So again, you can still join me with !attack into the chat. And you can actually even write something like join you into the battle and !attack. Something like that. But in this case it's probably using the !join. Ow, that hurt. So, final attack maybe? Ah, that was too early. The rock is still, so below the V rock symbol you see the ATB bar, because this is heavily influenced by Final Fantasy, of course. And just one more attack. Give me the power! Fire! We did it! Yeah, so if you want to play another round, there's a channel point redemption to do, so there is a channel point redemption. So let's switch this one off, and we're back to our regular stuff and to our regular music. So in the front end, we can now do things. Oh my god, do things! Like showing actual T. Yeah, what do we actually want to do? Maybe I open GIMP for just a second, or probably not GIMP, but instead Sprite, because I suck at GIMP. And we just say, give me something like, I don't know, 1600 cross 900, is it? Right? So, how should our page look like? And actually, so I could use a tool like Framer and so on, and Figma, but I'm not really used to those. So let's just think here ever so slightly how it should look like. Maybe we have our T, and we have the name, and we have maybe a price tag. For example, $12.99. And then we have this in kind of a list. First of all, to get started very, very simply. Very, very simply. Right? That's already much better than what we have right here. And getting here is already quite some ways. Let's see. How much? Well, what do I want to do today? That's the big question. Actually, I want to check out Apollo. We make it even stupider. Stupider, the stupidest. That's the superlative of Jupiter. Jupiter and stupider. So, I would say I want to check out the Apollo GraphQL client. so that we can talk to our backend ever so slightly better. Thinking about the design and stuff is goodish, but I don't really have fun today with that. So what I want to do is first of all, let's see, maybe copy this one, and we call it t-list.tsx. We call this one t-list as well. I don't know, but whatever reason I prefer this version. Where are we? There we go. And then we export the t-list. Did I not call it correctly? Typed good. Thank you. So now things get interesting. Let's pretty much remove everything inside of here. And let's just say this is our, I don't know, t's. And we just have a list inside of here. Yeah, maybe h1 t-list, another list item, green tea, lorem ipsum, yeah, perfect. Thank you. \p, close the list item and close the unordered list, almost unordered list. There we go. So now we have to, of course, display this bad boy as well, otherwise nothing gets shown. So app logo, let's throw that one out, and instead we put in the t-list ever so slightly. There we go. There it is. Isn't it beautiful? Best app I've ever created. It's beautiful. So now inside of here I want to do requests. And to do so, let's go to the Get Started page. Create a React app locally, create a React sandbox, blah, blah, blah. We do this, npm install Apollo GraphQL, Apollo client and GraphQL. So, what just happened? Ah, okay, no, wait. Install. Maybe, just maybe, we also need to have TypeScript. No, this is fine, because TypeScript is included inside of that. So, no, it's Yarn that I'm using. Come on, stop it. Whew. That was close. We want Yarn at Apollo client GraphQL. So I hope that still worked. Yeah, looks good. So Apollo client is a single package, contains virtually everything you need to set up Apollo client, which makes sense given the name. Caching in memory, local state management, error handling, and a React-based view layer, as well as GraphQL. Oops. Now, the next fun stuff is initializing the Apollo client. So somewhere we do this. Probably it's a global, huh? So we do this in the app. Yeah, no, that's a CSS, sorry. Index. Index, or inside the app maybe. Not sure. let's try it here. Oops. All of this stuff goes up there, and then we put this one down here. Now we have the client. Now we can start querying stuff. So now the fun stuff, connecting it to React. Okay, there we go. So we of course need to say HTTP. We were correct. HTTP colon localhost. Yeah, you're right. Very good. Very, very good. Now this friend connecting to React, we can use a provider. This dude. Actually, this should be inside of here, I think. Actually, it should be inside of here, I think. Well, we can move it later, I suppose. Let's just add a to do move to a better place. It moved. Apollo moved to a better place. We will miss him. What is this? Okay. Okay, now we have the Apollo provider. So our actual app is wrapped inside of Apollo. And again, this should probably, well, let's say it like this. Our authentication is probably also in the wrong place. Because if you're building a web shop, you want to go onto the website and immediately see the products, right? You don't want to first log in and then see the product, because that extra step of logging in probably just says, no, I won't buy here. So we probably instead definitely move the authentication somewhere else. And our first endpoint, or first fetching, can most likely actually happen without any authentication. Except our backend says no, which might be the case. Then we have to go back to the backend again and figure things out. So if I'm inside of the authenticated app, inside the T-list, we can now say, what does it say? We have something like this. Exchange rates. Probably this is our T's. GQL comes from there, which is get T's. We just say T's, and we provide all of them. I think they have a name. They probably have an ID. Always useful to have. We can maybe look here. Something like that. Oh, that was too much. Is it correct? I think the brackets were off. Okay. All these. So we have our T's query. And now we can say, what did they say? Use query. Bams. Use query comes from Apollo client. And we get ourselves a get T's. Just T's. There we go. And now this returns any, which is not ideal, but whatever for the time being. So if loading, return ... loading maybe. On an error, return the error message. And otherwise, we have data, and now we can go inside of this unordered list. We can map over, maybe I write this one by one, data.t's which comes from up here, .edges, .map, and inside of there we have the node. Yep. So this is an edge, what we actually get returned here. And then we map this to this dude. So you are not happy with an implicit any, which is, I would say, okay for now. No, not for you. So the next interesting thing is we have a generic here, actually two even. Query variables, which is empty object. So there is nothing, or we don't have any variables. Probably we can even say never. And the data that gets returned. And this is now interesting. So this is tease, an object which has total count, which is a number, and an object which has edges, which has a node inside of it. Sorry, a list of nodes. Wait, what am I doing? Edges is a list of objects which contain a node, which contains an ID, which is a string, which contains a name, which is a string. The best temperature, which is a string. I think it's a number. And there are some more. We have tags, which is a string, and we have price, which is a number, I think. So where do these come from? These actually come from the backend. So inside of here we have the schema, and we have the this up here. Type T, I think. There we go. So ID being an ID, but it's a string. Name is a string. Float gets turned into a number. Best temperature in gets turned into a number, and tags being a string, getting turned into a string as well. JavaScript. So this is a GraphQL type, but it's the library Apollo automatically turns it into GraphQL types for us. So there are better ways to create all of this. Be aware of that. I might, probably not today, but maybe next time we add Apollo CodeGen or GraphQL CodeGen. One of these two. I'm not sure whether Apollo CodeGen is still a thing. It probably is. So now we have typing in here. Data. Why do you complain? Object is possibly undefined. That's indeed not optimal. In that case, just say, why are you probably undefined? Possibly undefined? I think if there is an error, data is undefined, but we have the error here, so I don't think we need to handle it again. We don't use a node just yet, but we can now. Let's say node.name maybe, and we say, I don't know, price, and it needs to have a key, which is node.id. So let's look at it. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. It doesn't. Object is possibly undefined. Yeah, I fixed that. Refresh. Error unauthorized. Okay. At least we did get the request. Now things get interesting. Zappy!
Zappy_OC joined our tea time.
Hello there, how are you doing? Is everything alright on your end? Welcome to the tea time. I have a cup of tea. Mine is almost empty, and I can also refill yours, of course. Your first cup of tea. Cheers. Currently we're drinking green tea sencha. My kind of go-to solution. Most of the time. How are you doing? How's it going? Hey yo. Zeppy. Good to see you. So, you're doing great. WBU. BU. And what about you? I'm doing good as well. And I have a new today I learned, which is WBU. I see, cool. I'm doing good, thank you. We are currently working on our My Little Tea Shop. Yay! I don't know where I got this name, but for whatever reason, I kind of remember a Nintendo game. Is it My Little Pet Shop or something? My Little Pet Shop? Isn't there? Okay, I see. There was a... No, that's Littlest Pet Shop. My Little Tea Shop. Is that actually still a thing? The Little Tea Shop of Lost and Found. Yeah. Anyway, we're building a tea shop, and we already have a backend. We also already have pretty much the complete authentication as soon as you have an order. First and foremost, I wanted to learn Cognito. That's why we did this. And once you log in, of course, if it's a real, everyone's a tea addict. Very good. Very good. Once you log in, you get this screen. Currently, we get an unauthorized error from the backend. We are working with GraphQL. Have you worked with any of the technologies like AWS, specifically AWS Cognito, NestJS, JavaScript, TypeScript, GraphQL? Do you have any experiences on that front? Because then you're on the one hand, both you're very correct here. Like it's fun to do all this stuff. Oh, sweet! Wow, nice. Even the Amplify part. Maybe you've seen this error. Currently, all of my Amplify stuff fails with request argument must be a string. 2 weeks ago, or let's say 3 weeks ago, it still worked, but now it's just saying, I don't want anymore. Okay. You also tried NestJS. Cool. So you're pretty deep, seem to be pretty deep into the JavaScript, TypeScript, and maybe even TypeScript world. If it's NestJS, then you probably also did TypeScript. Cool. Yeah, I'm terrible at front end, in particular, whatever it comes to design and CSS. I'm like, nope. My brain just shuts down. I'm this dude. Back end CSS. I think I should have a shortcut for this. Oh no. I'm that dude. or this dude. It's actually a GIF. That's me, like for real. So what I'm currently just doing is the backend integration with the NestJS in particular, because we have GraphQL on the backend, NestJS GraphQL based, and we just added Apollo client, and we're sending our first request to the backend. But since we currently assume basically everything on the backend must be authenticated, we get this also unauthorized error, which is a HTTP4 one. So the quick fix, just so that we can see something, is to go to app module, have this auth guard be deactivated, and now authentication is shut off. And if I reload, there we go. We see Valerian root for $12.99. We see peppermint costs also $12.99. Green tea is fairly cheap with $9.99, and matcha a bit more expensive for $14.99. You used Amplify for hosting, but it turned out pretty bad for NestJS. Yeah, I've heard about that. That it doesn't work well with the pre-rendered stuff, right? With the server-side rendering. So you move to Netlify. Oh, sweet. So you probably also know Jason's. Maybe even I kind of remember your name. Maybe you I've seen you on Jason Langstroth stream. Maybe I don't know. But anyway, our beautiful query works, and we get all of these nice teas. Now things get interesting because we kind of would need to go back to the backend and say that or maybe let's do something like this first. I want to play around with the Apollo client ever so slightly, and I know we can actually refetch, I thought, but maybe you can't. Oh, you just changed to this username. I see. Then I probably didn't see you on Jason's thing. Jason's, but you probably learn with Jason. If you don't, shout out to him. Learn with Jason. He's amazing. He's one of the people from Netlify, one of the more senior people, I think. Everybody check him out. Wait. the link is absolutely wrong. Why? Or did he host me? That can't be true, right? Let me double check the link. I don't think he hosted me. I mean, he did once, but I don't think that he hosted me recently. Where is he? Learn with. Maybe I just messed up the. Because it's Jay Langstroth. Okay. So shout out Jay Langstroth. That's better. Yeah. Interesting. That must be the new behavior from Stream Elements. I don't think I've set it up as a fallback, that it just puts in my own address link. Weird. Anyway, coming back to Apollo. So maybe have you used Apollo client? Because one thing that I'm interested in is, so I did use GraphQL code generation before. Maybe you happen to know whether Apollo code gen is still a thing. Or anybody else in chat. I'm very, very open. You haven't worked with GraphQL. Okay, that's too bad. Okay, then let's check out Apollo ever so slightly more. So we do have this fun stuff. I'm not sure whether we actually see the loading because it's so quick, probably. Maybe if we put in a delay or something. let's just say if it's not loading, then it says loading, perfect. We already saw that the error is actually properly displayed. And we also see the beautiful list here. So everything seems to be absolutely amazing. Yeah, if you're thinking about it, if you're building a shop, you probably want server-side rendering. Because there are a couple of experiments on that front, because there is also a lot of money on that front, right? Web shops, e-shops. And one very, very interesting finding is that if you just shave off like 0.3 seconds of loading time, or every 0.3 seconds of loading time that you can shave off, immediately reflects like in multiple percents on your revenue, which is okay. Very, very interesting, because then that means you most likely don't want to have a page that is like dynamically loaded. You want to have it pre-rendered and then as quickly as possible be rendered on, or like shown on your front end. You worked on web performance on your previous company. Oh, very interesting. Performance is one of the parts where I'm like, leave it to different people. I respect that. I'm in the position that I haven't had I don't know whether you call it chance or the need to work seriously on web performance. Because most things on web applications, most things that I've seen is bad architecture, which causes bad performance. Like requests being done 7 times until they actually resolve, or mounting one component but multiple times and re-rendering it immediately for another 5 times. These kind of things. So for example, this one is just immediately, as you can see, even though it is connecting, well, to a very simple backend, which is also on localhost, so it's probably most likely very, very fast. But there is absolutely a need, in particular in e-commerce, for also performing for even higher performance, because it just shows in your revenue immediately. Sweet, interesting. Yeah. Maybe you can share sometime some tricks on how you measured the performance. I mean, one obvious thing is right here. I mean, Lighthouse on the one hand, performance, but probably this page gets like 100% on Lighthouse. Having a 100% Lighthouse score is not that hard, even on accessibility, because in particular on accessibility it just says, yeah, everything is a warning, don't care about it. Oh, it's actually a bad performance already. Jesus Christ. First contentful paint, 2.8 seconds. Wow. I wonder what's keeping it so long. Maybe the login. Reduce unused JavaScript. Interesting. Serve static assets with an efficient cache policy. Interesting. What other tools are you using for improving? The profiler, probably not, right? That's more, well, if you have memory issues, you can also automate the process in your CI/CD. Interesting. How would you do that? Like, do you do the actual requests and then look at its performance? Or are there specific tools that help you with that? I mean, doing a curl is probably possible, but it doesn't tell you much about the rendering speed, right? It does tell you about the link to the backend, but the rendering itself is then a different story. Then again, I'm just trying to think this through. having server-side rendering, I don't know how much is still on the front end. Even if you have server-side rendering, probably some parts are still rendered then in the front end again. Although that's probably stupid, right? That would probably be stupid. You wrote some custom code for it. Or you guys, your team. Oh yeah, I see. Maybe if I just performance. Yeah. Also, all the SEO stuff is probably also very interesting. Web Vitals. Mm-hmm. Oh, actually, Sentry has it built in already. That's cool. Web Vitals is an initiative by Google to provide unified guidance for quality signals that are essential to delivering a great user experience on the web. Google has provided a number of tools over the years to measure and report on performance. Some developers are experts using these tools, while others have found the abundance of both tools and metrics challenging to keep up. Cool. Love to now edit Web Vitals. It was rare 1.5 years back. Oh, interesting. It's still a new thing, in other words. Even though we are like React is now, I think 2016 was its release, right? 5 years. Angular 1 is like 10 years by now. AngularJS. No. Interesting. So let's see, how does this work? Largest contentful paint. First input delay. So largest contentful paint, LCP, measures loading performance. Yeah, okay. So that's the initial page load. Then first input delay measures interactivity to provide a good user experience. Pages should have a fit of 100 milliseconds or less. Oh, cool. And they also explain what each one of these is. So, thanks for the resource. Let me share this with the other people as well. Page speed insights, Chrome user experience reports. Sweet. Yeah, I know that in Google Analytics you can see a lot. You can see a lot inside of there as well. In particular, you can fit it around with your. I mean, Google Analytics then provides you with the metrics to measure your performance, right? One of the tools. And then you can particularly look also at bounce rates, so people who stepped on your website and immediately went away, or your conversion rates and also all that fun stuff, or at least depending on what you define as conversion or goals. Maybe the first user interaction might also be a very valuable learning for your team. But there's a lot. Web Vitals got famous because now Google uses it to rank websites with better performance higher. Oh, interesting. I have heard that they both favor, I think, relevance, performance, and even UX. UX probably plays in this as well, looking at the disclaimer here at the very top. delivering a great user experience. Interesting. Google Analytics size itself decreases the performance score. I can imagine. Yeah. I mean, how large is it? Which is a GA client? Size. That's not it. Google Analytics JS bundle size. GA.js is the old one. Analytics.js. Just tell me. Tell me how large it is. No, that's not it. Why did they not tell me? Well, again. Is it just the script? Wasn't there also something different? Ah, this one. Yeah. Ah, okay. This one creates the Google Analytics.js. Okay. This is a network tag for some websites where it is used. I don't want to dox me unnecessarily. But yeah, that's probably a good way to find out. Tag manager is pretty large. Oh, interesting as well. Yeah. Tag manager being, so for those who don't know, a way for marketing people and so on, to toggle features is one thing, but also I think you can do a lot of stuff with it. But one interpretation is feature toggles. But I think you can also do pricing and stuff. Not sure. Haven't used it myself. As I said, I haven't worked in a web shop yet. But time will probably come. Yeah, and Sentry also does it, apparently. Sentry probably also not the cheapest to bundle, I suppose. But it's a very, very useful tool. I mean, maybe first have a working app and then have a fast app. Ideally, have both together, right? Sentry definitely helps to keep the bad stuff from happening. At least if you look at your Sentry and care about it. Okay, so we do have our backend integration partially working. Now the interesting part now is, maybe I just stage ever so slightly. Course is apparently not a thing. Or do we do the prefetch here? Can it work? Post. We do an options header. We do the pre-flight apparently. So I guess I have course enabled already. Can't remember that I did, but apparently I did. So Apollo provider, move it to a different place. All right. For the time being, I think we are good with this. We are good with that one. We did install some things inside of here. We updated Amplify, but it still doesn't work. Bummer. And this is now a feature for episode 50. T-list load or front end or add list of add render show list of T's. There you go. Now comes the interesting part, at least for me, as a backend dude. We have to find a way around our guard. So what I want is, by default, everything needs to be authorized, needs to be authenticated, and then specific routes can opt out of authentication, i.e. be public. That's what I want. Why do I want to have the default authenticated? Because if I make a mistake and I forget, if it's vice versa, you need to put the authentication decorator or whatever, that something needs to be authenticated. If you forget it somewhere and it gets into production code, you're ouch. You'll probably get hacked, or your data security gets compromised. I mean, we are in JavaScript world, so we don't have log4shell. If you have heard of that, the Java vulnerability that has shocked the world like 2 days ago, I think. And apparently everything is breaking. But in the JavaScript world, everything is broken anyway. So we don't need log4shell. Just kidding. No, you need to be careful. Need to be careful that the stuff that you build is kind of. I think the best version of this is secure by default, and if not needed, opt out of it. Because then you cannot forget it, right? You cannot forget and then expose all your user data to the public. Because in particular, I think GDPR 12 million. I think it's 12 million euro. Oh, and apparently Vodafone was fined only a year ago. Those 12 million for GDPR violations in Italy. I think 12 million is pretty much the maximum. If you look at the GDPR rules, the European consumer privacy, data protection rights, general data protection regulations, I think. In any event, yeah. So this is a good default, and we now need to have find a way out of our authentication for our T's. I'm still in the front end. Yeah. Somewhere. So here we have our default app guard, which protects us and requires that everybody is authenticated. And then inside of here, we can probably do something like guards or decorators. Okay, maybe not there. I think it's here. Why not? Services, hub, no? Is it inside of here? Decorators? Oh, yeah, there we go. And inside of here, I want to have something like public. And this public thing, why do I call it specifically public? Because it's kind of a thing in NestJS. Here we go. So this is you put in some metadata and add it to the route. And then later, you check the route for this is public metadata. And then you basically skip the authentication on that part. Trend Power!
Trend
That's
Power
a cool name.
joined our tea time.
You're also streaming, I suppose? Welcome to our tea time. Cheers. Power art. Welcome, Trent. Have a cup of tea, have a seat. Yeah, and then you apply it like this, basically, to a specific route. Or because we are using this library called NestJS query, you apply the decorator like this, and then everything is hopefully fine. So let's add the decorator right here, public.decorator.ts. We just do this, and everything is fine. Bams, and then we decorate this dude, and maybe it already works, but maybe not. Why? So theoretically we would need to now check probably in our auth guard. Man, it is crowded here. Is it? We got raided earlier by Play Dungeon Mans. She's so mainstream. I doubt that. I doubt that. But good to see you, Mace. How are you doing? Everything all right on your end? So where is my... Somewhere I need my auth guard. There it is. So somewhere in here, you would then just skip the activation. But I can imagine, because we use this specific library, that it has it built in. And we will find out in just a minute. Because I can just go here and do this, and we see, oh, it doesn't skip it. Too bad. But if we go down, we can see this dude, which is probably then what we need. And I do remember there was a bug inside of here. Let's hope it's not there anymore. I do remember that there was a bug, although it's been a year now. The bug was that the error gets overwritten sometimes. So this key, let's get it from there, get all our override. So what happens here? This auth guard, custom auth guard, it gets called because it's sitting on top of every route that we have defined, be it GraphQL or be it HTTP. HTTP, the part we fixed earlier this day. Now it goes inside of here and looks whether it should run it. And we basically skip the activation, or vice versa. I suppose vice versa. I think this one is actually calling then our custom JWT stuff, the fun stuff that we have defined down here. So then it does with this part, it does the regular JWT authentication, and here it just says yes, you have access. So, and what does it do? It looks at the metadata of that specific route. Which is not a trivial concept, reflection, but a very, very, very powerful concept. Fairly common definitely in Java frameworks, but also I'm not sure whether they use reflection for that actually, in Python. Decorators are very, very common in Python, but I'm not sure whether they use reflection. Yeah. JavaScript doesn't really support reflection by itself. That's why we kind of have a polyfill baked in, I think, in our, actually even in TypeScript config. Decorator metadata, there we go. You need this one and experimental metadata, experimental decorators. And then I think you also need to have a polyfill reflect metadata. There it is. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Very powerful concept. You can basically put in type information and so on classes and so on, which NestJS, for example, uses for the dependency injection. For example, this dude. Where does it get called? You would ask, and NestJS looks at this class because of the metadata it gets. Actually, there is at runtime type NestJS can still see it's a reflector class, and then inject the correct instance. Instantiating inject. So this should be it, I hope. Did we use public so far? Then I would stick to that. No, okay. The modifier I was thinking in some projects I use public, and some other projects I don't. Apparently in this one I don't. And I would like to be consistent at least per project. So let's check whether that worked. Darn. It didn't. Now it gets interesting. Let's try to do yarn start debug and check what's going on here. Up. So if we do this, there we go. Now, stepping over this, we see is public, is undefined. Okay, that's the cause for this is probably because our request is not of the right type, I suppose. Or is it? Maybe we need to do this line here. Context. So let's skip. Did I stop the debugger? No, I didn't. Okay. So save, rerun. So NestJS handles GraphQL and regular HTTP requests slightly different, as you can see up here as well. Depending on whether we have a graph HTTP, so REST, the regular like get something, my URL / login, for example. Depending on that, or whether we have a GraphQL context, this context property is different, and you get, for example, the request, the GraphQL request. You get it from different places, which is not so easy. Everything is any here, not ideal. But anyway. So now if we do this again, we get blocked out here. We now have the right request, hopefully. And we see this is still undefined. Damn it. I did apply the... Wait. Did I apply the role? I did, damn it. Public. Do I need to do it like this? I think I do. This might actually work. There we go. Yeah, look at this. There it is. It's true. Sweet. So, and now it returns true here, and now it's just authenticated, I suppose. Bams. And now we see all of our good stuff. Now let's maybe go into our front end once more and take a look at the orders. Where's my front end? Jesus. So this is what we want to do. Maybe let's just take the orders list. Looks pretty much the same. Get orders. Orders. We maybe take the total count. And let's see here. Let's just take this complete query. Get orders. All right. Now we need to change the GraphQL type here, and I would love to generate it, and I know we can, but I haven't included it yet. So edges is fine, node is fine, ID is fine. Things get interesting now. User ID is a string. Status. Status is one of a specific list of strings. So let's just say it's a string for now. Then we have our items. And that's more complicated. It has an ID, it has a product ID, it has a unit price, and it has apparently a quantity. Thank you, GitHub Copilot, aka Ice-T, for not for telling me all of this. And I didn't have to write it. So now we can go into here. We can say orders, your orders. We can say orders, give me the edges, give me the node dot status maybe, node dot items dot. Okay. Now, there's an array missing, right? Mace Grace had to buy some fresh tea for the stream. It took a while. Where did you buy your tea? So, we have now an ordered list. Unordered list inside of an unordered list. This is terrible. Don't do that. Probably. But what I want to do is I want to map over my list and say like so, I think, right? And say list item, let's say the product ID is more complicated. Product dollar. Wait, what am I doing? Product ID, unit price, and the quantity. There we go. You have a different class name, orders. And now we go into our app, authenticated app. Yeah. Okay, I think we can throw this one out. Can just put in the orders list here. I think I forgot to rename it, right? Fortunately. Orders list. There we go. So import, and maybe let's remove the T list for now. Okay, and that one is unauthorized. Yay! So that's very good, because it means that our authentication now actually applies correctly. T-list, so this GraphQL endpoint here, T's, is public, so it just returns. Done. And our orders list, however, is not public because it depends on the user, right? That one is unauthenticated, which is good. Which is exactly what we wanted to achieve with this public decorator here. Now things get interesting, because actually we don't want to... Wait, stage. Always stage after something useful has happened. There we go. Sweet. Very, very cool. I do think we still have to do something like, depending on the context, we want to switch here. Const get, oh, let's see. Private get context type specific context maybe, and we put in, so we put in the context, which is an execution context. And then, so in this case, we just return the context. And in the case of this dude, we return this one. Turn. And I do need this line here as well. Otherwise, nothing happens. Right? And otherwise we throw an unknown context type. And now in here I want to have this dot get type specific context of this context. And then we have the right one, always. So now it should also work for HTTP. Haven't tested it and we don't have an endpoint. But I do want to put this dude here in a library. Actually, the whole Cognito JWT thing into a library, because nobody has ever done it. So that's a good thing for the stream, right? And then we're good, I think. So untested code, always a good idea. Not. And now we can say feed. This is episode 50, Maze. Can you believe it? It's our 50th episode. The 50th. Actually, not really the 50th, but something about 50th. Probably more like 53 or something. Because at the beginning, if you remember, I had like 7.5. Because it wasn't an episode on a Wednesday. Yeah. But I switched that later. And now we just have, okay, even if I do special episodes on a Saturday, for example, it's still just +1, the numbering. Yeah. 50. So at the very beginning, if you want to watch the VOD, the video on demand later, I actually thank all of you. Yay! And if I do it again, it also does hurt. So thank you again for, man, all the support in this. We started, I think, 17th March, right? And man, it was definitely something. From 0 viewer, well, I did invite particularly you, Mrs. Grace, and a couple of others for the first stream, but as of then, you were one of the regulars together with Gusto, so thank you so much. Because also earlier here, and also people like the dudes that friends of the stream that rate us actually, like Final Singularity and Play Dungeon Mans, Jim from Play Dungeon Mans. Yeah, very, very grateful that we made it for, first of all, over half a year, almost 3/4 of a year by now, and 50 episodes of multiple hours. So more than 100 hours of streaming by now. It's still kind of shabby, in particular the audio hasn't improved that much the way I would hope. That's mostly because my room is pretty much empty. But other things are fairly smooth. We have like music, we have our game, which is still up here, by the way. So if you wanted, we could just play a round of T-Wars whenever you want to, by saying, yeah, let's do it, or using the or using the channel points. And yes, there was this dude who just came in and said, how do you make a lot of profit from a website? Well, I appreciate your question. But yeah, that was kind of random. There were a couple of random things. There were also the bad times where Twitch was raided regularly with hate streams, and actually we saw a couple of those, which was definitely not a cool thing. Be friendly, people, please. It's a good thing. It avoids pain, both yours and those of other people. We also saw the day when Twitch got went open source, or they were gun open sourced, I suppose, because the whole code was leaked. That was interesting. Yeah, it's been quite a journey. With all the T-Wars, over 30 episodes almost, or 20 at least. And now for a couple of episodes, the AWS Cognito stuff and authentication and authorization with NestJS GraphQL and NestJS Query. Fun stuff, and a lot of cool people just that I've seen so far here. Always fun to see. There were even a couple of people directly from Amazon. Last week we were visited by the official Ocean. What's the DigitalOcean? DigitalOcean actually visiting us, the official channel. We got sponsored, kind of sponsored by AWS with $300 for our for this dude. The TypeScript Tea Time channel account that I have on AWS got $300 sponsored by AWS after I applied for saying, well, I stream and I do a lot of AWS stuff and it's cool. I like it. Here, shut up and take my money, kind of. Yeah. A lot of cool moments. Also, kind of some like not so happy moments. Some like when the viewer counts just drop to 0 again, and you sit here for 10 hours talking to nobody. It's kind of a bummer, but I'm kind of gotten used to it now after a couple more hours. But I'm very happy. Currently, it's working. It's working out. We get rated from time to time. People find us, and there's a 1 or 2 people there most of the time, which is really cool, and I'm very grateful for that. So, feature 50, T's public and orders. Actually, we just say add public decorator to public to access or to publish or to open endpoints, to skip auth and authentication on specific endpoints. So now a cool thing. So you might be wondering, I mean, we do have a couple of T's endpoints. So if I do mutation, create one T, that should be a thing. Create one T here and create many T's also. So you might be wondering, now those should be public, right? We don't want random people to just create products out of it. Yeah, that wouldn't be good for business. We can fairly easily do that by changing this dude here. I think we can just say read and then say decorators to be public. Remove that one. And now only reading is public. And for example, other endpoints, like the update endpoint, of which we have also a couple, they are still authenticated, which is what we want, right? So now I should be able to read. I should be able to read here. Pay it to fetch. No! Because I stopped the endpoint. I stopped the backend. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Come on, you can do it. There it is. But if I do create T without credentials, and I kind of wonder how to do that. But maybe let's first write this bad boy. We want to get back the ID and maybe the name. Rams. We don't give it an ID. Actually, I don't even want to have this ID here. It shouldn't be there. ID, name. Mace, what kind of tea have you bought since you or Zeppi, what's your favorite tea? You were so black tea. I think we still miss black tea, so that's perfect. Did I mess something up here with the parentheses? Let me double check. So I want to remove these. I think this one is too much. And now close that one. The name black tea. Something is off. But what is off? Is it just like this? Nah. Input. Okay. I forgot the input. So, now it should. Okay. Apparently there is another T inside of that. Interesting. Not sure where that comes from. Anyway, name black tea. There we go. Let's try already. Something is wrong. Something is very wrong currently. I don't think this is there. Something is broken. Why does this button not work anymore? You work. What am I doing wrong here? Do I have create T somewhere here? Nope, not anymore. What am I doing wrong? So input, create one T input. Why does it say T there? Let's look at the schema. Create one T input. There it is. It has T. Oh, it has T apparently. Okay. And then it has name black T. And then it has a price probably of, I don't know. How much does black tea cost? Ginger tea. Oh, ginger is also nice. Very, very healthy. Let's say I got some black tea, got no good green tea left. Reserved for when guests come out. That's nice. It's a bit like my grandparents used to bring out the good dishes, like silver or at least goldenated dishes like spoons and so on, and forks whenever guests came. That's the temperature. Black tea best at temperature, good in pregnancy. Can black tea get rid of pregnancy? People. Oh, Jesus Christ. People, what are you Googling? Ah, best at temperature. European. 19 to 98, okay. Let's take 93. Oh man, black tea. Get pregnancy now. Why is it not working? I don't get it. What am I doing wrong? I'm missing a parenthesis. Curly. Then it just doesn't do anything. Great. Well, that worked because we have the authorization token set here, apparently. I didn't even notice. So, if I remove this authorization token, because on HTTP level it's broken. There we go. It just works. And even if we have this now, we should be able to see our T's. There we go. Nice. We only see one for whatever reason, because we filter for grassy. So let's remove all of these. And then max. We see all the T's. And since we have black tea, we also want ginger tea. I'm using DynamoDB for storage. Currently, I'm just using SQLite. I did some projects, no production projects, unfortunately, with DynamoDB yet. But my app, do I have it? Like so, maybe. Yeah, this app, it's internally using DynamoDB, and it's using it for your registration. So it's basically you get one message per day with just a nice message. For example, you are amazing, says Peter from England. Or what else do we have? Making mistakes is a part of life. Learning from them is the start of awesomeness. What a nice message. So to push your motivation, each day you get one message, and we save that information once. When did you use to build the app? I did it over 2 years. September 2019 is when I started. Actually, my first front-end project ever using React Native. And then, no wait, 2018, 2019, 2019, yeah, September 2019. And then it's continued. And it's using, for this daily notification, and to save your notification time, it saves pretty much no data of you, except for a unique identifier, so that it actually can send you a push notification with today's message and the time that you have set. And then it saves inside of a DynamoDB entry, and then we actually just pull the DynamoDB using the time as its key each minute. That was the solution that we have now. Yeah, that's why we use DynamoDB, and also then slightly more advanced, because then the error handling gets pretty complicated, and if you don't want to get blocked immediately, well, not immediately, but if you don't want to get blocked on your push notifications, you have to put in error handling and unregister all the tokens that provide errors. For example, if a device hasn't been used for 5 years, Google doesn't want to get your spam. You still push out those push notifications for the device that is not there for 5 years. That's not what Google wants. So they say, please do proper error handling, otherwise we might block you. And this would be basically the death of this app, even though it's pretty dead as well currently, to be honest. We don't get enough user provided content, unfortunately. Yeah, and for this error handling, it's also saving it, because there is a time delay until we actually have the concrete notification of everything worked. We save it inside of DynamoDB. By now, I know that I could have used step functions, I think. Because basically what I needed to do is wait 30 minutes. And simple queue service is not possible, because the maximum queuing time, wait time on a queue is 15 minutes, which is not enough for the processing. But I think with step functions, it's also 15 minutes, I think, but you can just put it inside again, do a double round, and then you have the same result with AWS step functions, which are a cool thing, and I still want to learn more of those. If you haven't checked those out, I was confused about the math part. They are, I think, I haven't worked with them yet, but what I've seen about them and what I've heard about them is pretty cool. One unfortunate thing is that their free tier is not as cool as it could be. It's still a lot, 4,000 credits. So basically what you do is you build a state machine around your Lambda function to build your workflow. And it not only integrates with Lambda functions, it pretty much integrates with everything on AWS. I think over 200 different services. We all love free stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And yeah, step functions can help you like build this workflow maybe we can just look at a few pictures here. For example, here you have a step function for check the inventory and hold the product, bill a customer, ship the product, and then remove on hold if billing failed. And each one is actually a Lambda function, and you can now integrate those Lambda functions. Because Lambda functions are great at doing stuff or transforming stuff, but they are not good for transporting stuff. Is what one of that's kind of a quote from one of the good people behind step functions. If you haven't, you might have probably checked it out. But there is an AWS channel. Is that right? Yeah, I think that's it. No server state. Yeah, for example. I mean, you can actually do server state on a Lambda as well. It's perfectly possible for caching and so on. But it's also very, very natural, and I find it to be very natural to think about. Yeah, but they are great for doing stuff. They are not so great if you have to call another Lambda function from inside a Lambda function, and then maybe another Lambda function inside of that, and so on. That's not what they are built for. They are for transforming maybe doing a thing. And that's where step functions steps in and says, well, we take over the transport. We call this Lambda function with the initial input, take the output and put it into another Lambda function and so on, so that you can build the workflow. Yeah, so short way. If you check out the list of highlights, you might be able to find maybe it's also on Twitter, I think. There is a 10-hour stream of me, and yes, I did a 10-hour stream pretty much on my own, where this dude here. So this is the complete workflow for handling the messaging on for the app that you've seen here. And it's completely on Twitch right here. And I would do a few things slightly differently. So if you want to check the diagram, because probably the diagram is more interesting than anything else. How can I embed the tweet? I don't want to embed it. I just want to link. How do I get the link? I think I can just click on it and then copy this one. Looked like one of those things it found in Area 51. Wait, what? What? It's actually two episodes even. I'm not sure whether I streamed whether I also have an announcement for the first one. But I streamed kind of in two days. Yeah. So are you aiming to build something with DynamoDB? Coming back to your question. We still need to Area 52. You mean the diagram? Do you hate it? Don't hate my diagrams. It is fairly complex. It's absolutely complex, and I would have loved to do it. By now I know. Oops, that's the wrong one. By now I think I know with step functions, it would have been so much simpler. I mean, you would still have these dudes, probably, but all these arrows here, and all the DynamoDB, this part particularly down here, all of those are basically not necessary, I think. It's over designed. It's totally over engineered anyway. but it's even more over engineered than necessary to learn something. You're thinking of learning backend dev, so thinking of picking up 1DB to use. Yeah. In particular, since you've used Amplify, it's absolutely a great choice, I think. DynamoDB. You might be aware of Amplify GraphQL, where everything of that is even abstracted away. all of the I think with this add model, it generates the DynamoDB entries and schema for you, which is pretty amazing. And then you just build the GraphQL stuff. This would also have been an interesting thing to do, because in particular we use Amplify on the front end, but only for authentication. You recently left my company for mental issues and physical health. So thinking of doing some side projects and learning new stuff. I think it's good for, at least for me, not working on stuff can be kind of boring, right? So just having a hobby and learning new things and so on, getting the well, which hormone is it? The success hormone. Getting those pumping is probably not a bad thing, I would say. But I cannot say much. Those endorphins, I don't think those. Maybe it's a version of endorphins. Did I pronounce that correctly? I don't know. Yeah. I hope you get well soon, Zappi. Get better soon. Let's say it like that. It's something that a lot of people go through. Particularly now in Corona times, it didn't go down. The numbers of health issues, both physically and mentally. Yeah. So it's good that you take it seriously. Good job taking care of yourself. I wanted to add ginger tea. Ginger tea. Interesting. Brewing temperature 100 degrees Celsius apparently. You just take hot boiling water. I think that the first one that we have with 100 degrees so far. What's the price on this one? Apparently $6.39 or $12.90. I think we are in euro currently, because I'm situated in the EU. I'm still unauthenticated. Let me copy this back over. And now we have ginger tea. Woo! Let's look at our front end. There we go. Yes, ginger tea for $12.09. We need that zero. We need them zero there. And we also need a, because that's super simple, a euro symbol. Yes, that's how you do it. You don't look it up on your. There we go. That's nice. Sweet. So I think we have what we wanted, right? We now can read, but we cannot write publicly, which is just amazing. So let's say this is a feature. Actually, it's a more pixel thing, which is episode 50 again. kind of going for the Angular convention niche thing, except for this thing in between. So only authenticated require auth n on writing t's public read. There you go. And I think with that I'm done for today. It was a fun session, much more fun than I originally thought it would be. And maybe front end. I think next time let's try to plan ahead ever so slightly, because that was one of my problems with why I was kind of I don't wanna. Let's plan ever so slightly. What I want is basic web shop design for T's. Then I want maybe I do a Figma or a Framer design. I'm not sure yet. We want to probably add material is too slow, right? But material UI is the only thing that I'm okay at. I wouldn't even say good. The only thing that I'm okay-ish at. The problem is material UI is terribly large, and since we're talking about a web shop, and Zeppi, you're my witness. Sorry, that was a Mad Max reference. Be my witness. Because we're talking about a web shop, not that I want to actually do it as a web shop, like put it out there, but we should think of it. Chakra UI. I hope that still works with Amplify authentication. But let's check out Chakra. Why not? Add Chakra. Chakras. Everybody loves chakras. What am I talking about? Create accessible React app with speed. Accessible sounds good. Speed sounds good. React app sounds good. I like it. I did try my hands a bit. At some point, there's this Tailwind, which is very, very popular right now, but it wasn't for me. I'll be honest with you. Probably I was also a bit impatient, I would say. Impatient. But yeah. Let's try Chakra. Chakras. Everybody loves chakras. Also, I want to check out add GraphQL CodeGen, and maybe let's just take a short look of Apollo CodeGen. Is that still a thing? It is. It is not. Apollo CodeGen generate. There we go. This is what I want. Is there only this blog post? That's like terrible. Client. Okay, apparently there's. I'm not sure which one I want to use. I think both work. Both probably work. Let's try this one. Let's check that one out. Apollo CodeGen. Oops, my bad. Apollo CodeGen. let's add a link here. By the way, this is actually public, so you can check it out as well. So this is probably, I'm going to most likely use FrameMap because that's what I'm at least slightly used to, but not used to really, but more like I have used it before for very, very basic stuff. And anything else that we want? Probably I need to check out Chakra before I even do the design, right? Or is Chakra... Probably I should check it out. Say it like that. Then there's Next also. Would be good to have it, but maybe we do that in another stream. Let's stick with this one, and then we do some front end next week. Rendering the T page and maybe totally fumbled, and maybe also the orders page. In particular, so looking at the front end now, I did notice that we are missing a couple of things. Where's my thingy? A couple of things on the orders. We probably want to have a backlink to the products, and on the and so on and so on. Like a buy date. When did you buy something? We need some pictures for each of these. I hope we find some. But I guess that's going to be all right. Let's hope. Unsplash is our friend. Unsplash. Let's say tea. Yeah. And if we do ginger tea, yeah, even that works. Okay. I think we're good. We're good. All right. And then we have something to do for next week. Maybe even 2 streams, because as I said, I'm not a front-end dude. This might be nasty. All right. Thank you so much. We got a bunch of follows. We got a raid this week, which is very, very cool for our 50th episode. Let's try to rate somebody as well. And Fine Art is still streaming, so let's go to him and say hi. So, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a great rest of the day. And yeah, hope to see you next time. Leave a follow if you've liked it, and next time we'll be doing some React and Chakra UI and web shop design. Goodbye everybody, see you around.